It's a hot summer day, and you're in your garden, looking at rows of tall corn. You tend to them, you water them, you expect a big payoff. Everything looks right, just like the books tell you. But under all that green, a quiet struggle is happening. A flaw in the plan you never see is cutting your harvest short. The plants have a different story to tell about how they truly want to grow. That different story the plants are telling? It all comes down to the way we line them up. We all plant our corn in straight, neat rows. It's what every gardening book shows you. But that whole idea wasn't made for our gardens. It was made for huge farms and tractors. And in your backyard, it's a disaster. When you plant corn in long, skinny rows, almost half of it never gets pollinated properly. That's why you get those cobs with empty spots and missing kernels. But there's a much older, smarter way to do it. It's a method the Amish have used for over 200 years, a simple switch that can help you get way more corn, maybe even double your harvest, from the exact same patch of dirt. So let's dig into where we went wrong. That whole picture we have in our heads, the long, perfect rows of corn, it has nothing to do with what the corn plant actually needs. It has everything to do with a machine. Think about a massive farm, hundreds of acres wide. The only way to manage that scale is with a tractor. The rows are spaced out perfectly so the tractor's wheels can fit. The plants are lined up so a mechanical harvester can come through and chop them all down in one go. Every instruction on the back of a seed packet, every diagram in a gardening book is a blueprint for industrial farming. But when you take that blueprint and shrink it down for your backyard, you're basically planting for a tractor that you don't own, and that will never show up. You're following a set of rules that weren't made for you or for the health of your plants. So what's the alternative? It's something the Amish have been doing for over 200 years, and it's beautifully simple. Instead of long, skinny rows, they plant their corn in a tight, rectangular block. Imagine a square or a wide rectangle, with plants spaced just 8 to 12 inches apart in every direction. It might look a little crowded, but this is how corn actually wants to grow. When the tassels at the top of the stalks release their pollen, the wind doesn't just blow it away down a long, empty row. Instead, it drifts down onto the silks of all the other plants packed in close by. The result is incredible. Scientists have found that in this kind of block planting, over 90% of the silks on every ear get pollinated. You get those perfect cobs, completely filled out with kernels from top to bottom. And here's the amazing part. When corn is this happy and well-pollinated, it will often give you a second ear of corn on the same stalk. That's something you almost never see in a traditional row. It's a perfect example of old-fashioned wisdom getting it right, long before modern science finally caught up. And today, all the experts at places like Cornell and Penn State will tell you the very same thing. If you're a home gardener, plant in a block. But planting in a block is just the beginning. This is where we can learn from a tradition that goes back thousands of years before the Amish. It's an idea that turns your garden from a collection of individual plants into a thriving community. It's called the Three Sisters Method, and it was first developed by Native American communities like the Cherokee and the Wampanoag. They figured out that some plants aren't competitors, they're partners. The Amish saw this wisdom and wove it into their own gardening, creating a system that practically takes care of itself. The main partnership is between corn and beans. Here's how it works. The corn grows tall and strong, creating a perfect natural pole. Then, you plant pole beans at the base of the corn stalks. As the beans grow, they climb right up the corn, reaching for the sun without needing any kind of man-made trellis. But the beans give something incredible back to the corn. Beans have this amazing ability to pull nitrogen, a key nutrient for any plant, right out of the air and store it in their roots. This process feeds the soil and provides a constant, natural source of fertilizer for the heavy-feeding corn right next to them. The garden literally starts to feed itself. You might not even need to add compost halfway through the season. The results are stunning. Experts have shown that using this method, you can get up to 3 times the amount of food from the exact same patch of dirt. Imagine harvesting corn, dried beans, and even winter squash from a space the size of a dining room table. If you want to try it, the process is simple. Wait until your corn is about 6 inches tall and sturdy. Then, plant a pole bean seed, like a Kentucky Wonder or a Scarlet Runner, at the base of every second or third stalk. Just make sure you get pole beans, not bush beans. Bush beans would just compete for light and space on the ground. You need the climbers. This isn't some new gardening hack. It's a powerful testament to what happens when we observe and work with nature. It's a system proven to work for thousands of years, long before we ever thought of tractors or chemical fertilizers. So you have the corn reaching for the sky and the beans climbing right up it. But there's one more partner that completes this amazing team. This final piece of the puzzle works right down on the ground. It's squash. Think of it as a living blanket for your garden soil. You plant a vining squash, like a pumpkin or a butternut squash, and its huge leaves spread out to cover all the bare dirt between the corn stalks. This creates a natural shield that does a few incredible things all at once. First, it blocks out the sun, so weeds have almost no chance to sprout. You can pretty much forget about weeding that part of your garden. Second, that leafy blanket traps moisture in the soil. This means you don't have to water nearly as often, even on the hottest days. And finally, it keeps the ground cool. On a scorching July afternoon, that shade protects the delicate roots of all three plants, reducing stress and helping them thrive. Suddenly, you don't just have three plants growing near each other. You have a tiny, self-sustaining ecosystem. The corn provides the support, the beans create the fertilizer, and the squash provides the protection. Each one is doing a specific job that makes life easier for the others. If you want to complete the trio, the process is simple. About a week after you've planted your pole beans, just place a few squash seeds in the open spaces around the edges of your corn block. Just like with the beans, make sure you choose a vining variety, not a bush one. You need the kind that spreads out and covers the ground. This isn't just a neat trick. It's an incredibly productive way to grow food. You're raising 3 different crops in the exact same footprint. You get your fresh corn, you get dried beans for winter soups, and you get heavy winter squash to store for months, all from one small patch. It's a perfect example of what happens when we design a garden to work with nature, not against it. You create a system of abundance that pretty much takes care of itself. Those neat rows in your garden, they're not for the plants at all. They're a leftover from big farms and their machines. This common setup wastes a lot of pollen, cutting your corn harvest short. But there's a better way. The Amish, and now even experts, show that block planting corn can double your harvest. Add beans and squash, and you've got the complete Three Sisters system. 3 different crops in one spot, all helping each other grow. They naturally feed the soil and keep weeds away. It's a powerful way to get more food with less work, simply by working with nature. We uncovered that hidden flaw in the plan, the quiet struggle under the green. It's time to listen to the plants and rethink how we grow. If you want to keep exploring practical wisdom and truly transform your garden, then hit subscribe. Let's keep digging into what it takes to build a garden that truly thrives.